Hi guys, it's Mikey from KS Bushcraft Down Under. Today I thought I'd rattle you out a review on this ITECH World jump pack. So they're local to me in Western Australia. So it's sort of the Swiss Army knife of jump starters. So it comes in this nice pack. So the whole weight of the whole kit is 1400 grams. It's 24 centimeters or 9 inches long by 15 centimeters or 6 inches deep, and 11.5 centimeters by 4.5 inches high. So she's pretty compact, but it'll just about fill the glove box on my car. So there's the main unit, and this is the accessory kit. So I'll run you through. We'll start off, we'll run you through the kit, I think. So there's the main unit. Looks pretty well made. Made for Australia. It's not made in Australia, it's made for Australia. So ITECH 2000 amp jump pack, multifunction jump starter. It's a 12 volt starter, so it comes with the lead kit which plugs in here for jump starting your battery. It has a LED light, this fella here, with 3 modes: on, strobe, SOS. That's pretty cool. It's got 2 USB outlets. The USB 1 here is a 9 volt port, and the USB 2 is a 5 volt port. And when the unit's on, it actually shows you 5 volts, 9 volts and 16 volts as the capacity of the pack, so it's wired up at 16 volts. If you plug a device in on charge, okay, there, so I plugged that into the 9 volt one, and it's showing 0.5 of an amp as it's charging this little ticker headlamp here. So that's really cool, especially these days, the amount of devices that we take outside. To be able to charge them up when your car's not running, that's really quite a handy thing to have, especially those guys who are traveling with kids. Now it does also have a wireless charging pad for those mobile phones that need that. Now the charge time, they claim between 4 and 5 hours. Now the 240 volt charger that comes with it is 9 volts at 2 amps. So this is the mains charger. So it's got a plug similar to my Apple laptop, but I tried that plug and it didn't work. So at 20 amps, there's something wrong with the maths there. Now it will say, it claims it will jump start a diesel 5 times and a petrol engine 10 times. Now if you leave this in the on position, it'll be dead flat in 24 hours because this is all energized up. It'll can sit for 3 months in the off position. They recommend it charged every 2 months for the best lifespan of the cells. I think it'd be just easier to charge it on the first of the month and keep it running. But because it has so many uses, I'm sure you can get in the habit now. It has a 12 volt outlet. So here comes all the kit. So it's pretty well constructed. So 12 volts at 8 amps, that's in the outlet. You could, if necessary, run 12 volt fridge. So if say a friend of mine, he drives to Exmouth every year, he stops one night for the long drive up there, and rest of the time he spends in a caravan park, rather than going to the expense of a dual battery set up in the vehicle, this would see him through, because he only stops for about 8 hours, which I think this could do that. So 12 volt charge socket which pops in here. Comes with one of these multiple phone jacks, Apple, Android, USB-C, I think. There's that many USBs these days. So useful again. Now this is the jump section, so it's keyed so you can't get it wrong. Okay guys, interrupted by a phone call. So this is the jump start unit. Has an LCD display on it. It also has this button here which basically activates these for 60 seconds. It must be a countdown. Looks well made. It does have wire to both sides of the clamp. I did notice on some other units that it's only live on one side, so at least this has got a electrical bridge other than the body of the clip, which is a good idea. Cables aren't super heavy, but they are super short, and they look long enough to reach across most batteries. So it's handed so you can't go wrong. So you don't need to turn the unit on. There's a surprise. It's actually telling you the air temperature in the room at the moment, which is useful, sort of, but surprising. So I'll get the multimeter and I'll test these leads and see what's showing now. Then we'll hit the countdown timer and see what the voltage is. I've got nothing shown on the multimeter. So I'll make sure these aren't touching. Or nothing. Done until it's connected to a battery, I'm guessing. Okay guys, so I've stepped outside, so it's reading 25 degrees. The moment I clip the lead on, it now flips over to 11.7, which will be the voltage. This heat cycle I've got sulphide. Okay, so I press the button on the side there. I am now getting 14.48 volts. So it's a full whack. And this little countdown charger runs down from 60. If you lose any connection, it goes back to, well, it's reading 12.6 now. That's throwing in some voltage in the battery. Okay guys, I've got the 12 volt accessory socket plugged in. Oh, here's the old cigarette lighter socket. I think the unit needs to be turned on, but I'll just verify that. So we've got 15.66 volts coming out of here. Now this pack is now showing 66% with me turning it on and off on that battery a few times. So it discharges quite smartly. So I'll see if I can find something to plug into this. Okay, so I found this old utility light. So this is just a car indicator globe. This is what my camp lighting used to look like in the 1980s. Still working today. So I'll find something else to try. So I've got this LED strip light I use in my camp, which goes from white to yellow, and she draws about an amp. Now there seems to be no amp gauge on the 12 volt outlet, so 64%. It's taken a knock messing around with the battery. So I might do an amp draw test on it to see what it can actually deliver, but it's certainly good enough for powering appliances. Well, they claim 8 amp. I think the heaviest thing I've got might be a small air compressor, so I'll give that a shot. Okay guys, I've run the fridge up to its normal temperature. I've turned the power pack on and I've disconnected the mains, so it's pretty warm out here. it's 34 degrees in the shade and 45 degrees Celsius in the sun. So I think that's a brutal test. The light's on the plug lead, and I'll turn the compressor on. It's about 10 AM here. It's only going to get hotter. So it's at 100% at the moment. You can hear the fridge running, so it's working. Put it back to where it normally is. So I think this is a pretty brutal test. If this could keep this going after a day's driving, you transfer it from the car to this battery pack to try and keep it going overnight. It's obviously not a perfect solution for regular travel, but someone who just makes that one overnight, I think this will perform. Anyway, we'll come back with this test and see how it goes. Well guys, it's been 2 hours since I started the test. I don't know if the camera can see that, but that's 8%. So not going well. I mean, the fridge is still cycling. It is awfully hot out here. That's the ground temperature at near 60 degrees Celsius. And the outside bag is at 37.5. So it's awfully hot out here. But 2 hours on a 15 litre angle, that's not a real trick. Anyway, it hasn't cut out. This isn't switched off. So I'll keep rolling. I'm a bit disappointed in the performance. Well guys, it's reading 3%. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it off, and it's only been 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm going to turn it off just to see that it's not the fridge, which isn't cycling at the moment and is pulling it down so far. And I'll boot it up in 15 minutes just in case it's the drain which is making that amp gauge read so low. But I don't think it is. I don't think it's capable of delivering what I expected it to. Okay guys, I left it switched off for 15 minutes to see if it affected the float voltage on this meter, but only 3%. So, not happy, Jen. It's not delivering what I expected it to do. Guys, down the unit smells like hot plastic, which is not very pleasing. So I'm going to plug it in out here on the surface that can't catch fire, and let's come up again with the 3%, and I'll try and see how long it takes to recharge. Then I'll work off the milliamps of that charger and see if I can get an idea of capacity. So 1 hour on the mains charger, and it's up to 18%. So we've had 2 hours on the mains charger. It's a 2 amp charger. So there's 4 amps at 9 volts, and we've got, well, it's saying 47% now. So I reckon this is about an 8 amp pack, nowhere near 20 amps. Anyway, we'll continue charging. So guys, I'm going to repeat the drawdown test again. I've got the LED light, which is exactly an amp draw, and we'll redo the test, see how it performs. I'm suspecting this battery pack's actually around 9 amp. Yeah, certainly nowhere near 20. Right, 100% on the pack, 1 amp load, 0700 in the morning. Okay guys, it's 0800 this morning, so it's only been on discharge for 1 hour. Not sure if the camera can see that, but 37%. So this is going spectacularly badly. Hey guys, it's just past 8:30, so 1.5 hours in. This is showing 13%. So guys, it's 0900. This is now on 3%. So that's not even 2 amp here. Not even 2 amp load. Okay guys, it didn't make it to 0940, so less than 3 hours on a 1 amp load. So I've been looking at this thing, and I think it's a little bit deceptive when it claims 20,000 milliamps. So I assumed that would be 20,000 milliamps at 12 volts, but it's not. It's at 3.7 volts. So no wonder it only lasted less than 2 hours on the fridge. I'm surprised it did that. But less than 3 amp hours at 12 volts. So it's changing the whole performance of this pack. Okay guys, let's have a bit of a recap. So this is the box. Now 2000 cold cranking amps, that I perfectly understand. Now my brain's in 12 volt mode because I'm talking about cold cranking amps. 2000 milliamps, sorry 20,000 milliamps. I'm thinking 12 volt, but it's not. It's a 20,000 milliamp 3.7 volt USB supply. So I mean, I think at best you could call that ambiguous. At worst you could call that deceptive. So what did I get? So 20,000 milliamps at 3.7 volts, it's about 74 watts. Now 1 amp at 12 volts is 12 watts. So that should have been able to run that LED light for about 6 hours or 7 hours. It didn't do 3. Now it did less than 2 hours on the 15 litre angle. That was pre-chilled. Oh, that was a hot day. So their claims about running fridges and 12 volt fridges and TVs, which is in the literature, that's certainly not a goer. So it doesn't charge and discharge, so you've had it in the car with kids using the USB sockets. They can't charge the unit while it's discharging. That's a downside. Now I clipped it onto a sulfated battery, which I know will start my car, and it knocked it down to 63% with less than 2 minutes being connected to that battery. So that seemed to discharge quite harshly. So I must admit I'm a bit disappointed in this product. I had high hopes for it at the start. Anyway guys, knowledge is power. If you find this useful, that's great. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Bye for now.